Welcome, everybody, to a Delco Nerd Network podcast. My name is Anthony Rigucci, and here with a few friends from the Delaware County area, we get in the basement and we talk about a certain topic. Today's topic is going to be the Game Awards 2022 predictions. Here to discuss those with me, as always, the triple threat, Chris Trio.
It's me, Trio, Gooch. How are you? It's a me.
Hi. I'm the problem, it's him.
Oh my god, I don't need this Taylor Swift. It's everywhere.
Is that a Taylor Swift song?
I think so. Yeah, I think it's one off her new album.
That would be a Taylor Swift song.
I
honestly had no idea. Like, didn't even.
You haven't seen that ever? I feel like I've been seeing it like ever. Yeah,
I know the thing
that she's been having.
But I did not know that was a Taylor Swift song. That was a
Taylor Swift song. I'm pretty confident.
I never decided to think about it.
Nah, don't. It's not worth it. I'm seeing it everywhere. Just not even specifically that one, but like, you know. The whole you saw the thing with Ticketmaster and her, right? I assume.
Other than they canceled the public.
Well, that's
selling
so
of
their stock wasn't in. Yeah, it's just that is a really insane monopoly that they really have going on there. I really didn't realize.
I mean, it's kind of
poster.
So did they do it because of the mass
they had a mass influx, I guess. They wanted everyone who I guess paid the premium to get the early access, but they basically used all of the tickets on the early access. It seems, but. The problem with Ticketmaster,
too famous, Taylor.
No, but also Ticketmaster, the way that whole thing is set up, like, they really are a monopoly. I can't really explain it very well. I suggest looking up a video on it. They're as close to a monopoly as you can get. Like, you have to go through them to sell any tickets for the most part for almost anything.
I think I knew that tangentially, but
yeah. A lot of venues have contracts with them where you can only sell tickets through Ticketmaster and stuff like that. So very interesting and worth looking into if you guys are bored.
Well, that was a hell of an intro. Before we like to get into the podcast, we like to, talk what's going on, what we're doing. We just kind of did a podcast, so me and Trio got two quick things we wanted to talk about before we get into the predictions.
Absolutely.
Why don't you go first?
Yeah, so I've been watching Yellowstone. Finally got into it. I feel like I hear about it all the time.
What the fuck is Yellowstone about?
It's about the Dutton family. And then protect
the what?
The Dutton family, Gooch. The Duttons. John Dutton and Casey Dutton, Jamie Dutton and Lee Dutton and Beth Dutton. It's about them trying to basically protect their farm that's been in their families for generations, their ranch, the Yellowstone, which is like one of the largest, I guess, ranches in Montana.
Oh, it's not about Yellowstone National Park?
It is located like next to Yellowstone National Park. Okay. It's Yellowstone Ranch. But very interesting, if you want a good drama, some good tension, very cowboy-y
So
vibes.
it's like Sopranos by cowboys.
Yeah, I would put it to a degree. Absolutely. I think that's a good way to put it.
That wasn't what I was going to talk about, but once I finish The Sopranos, I'll probably talk about it.
That's on my list too. But yeah, Yellowstone, I would highly recommend. Kevin Costner, he's a great actor. I know that's not an unknown fact, but he's really good. The woman who plays Beth in it is especially good. She's kind of like really tough as nails and mean. Favorite character is absolutely Rip. He's the man. But I would highly recommend it. It gives you that kind of westernish fix. Like, I don't know. I didn't realize how much cowboying really truly still goes on in the way, I guess.
I mean, we're not in it.
Well, that's the thing. And also, there's no automated way to herd cattle or anything like that.
Call the Amish people or...
no, that's true.
The people in Pennsylvania Cowboys. But
that's true. I mean, I don't
know if we're calling
we see a ton of farming for sure. But I would highly recommend it. And then I won't get into it here, but I finished God of War, so we'll be talking about that at some point. And Pentiment, of course.
And I finished, as well as the world finished, The Walking Dead is over, Trio.
Rest in peace.
Holy shit. What an end. Like, I have to admit that the finale was good for what it was. And it was kind of like, it was very nostalgic. Like, tapping into, like, I'm like, dude, I haven't really thought about, like, the beginning of The Walking Dead in, like, a while.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, it finished as good as it could. They killed a lot of people in the last episode, which I thought about it, and I'm like, they haven't really mass killed people in, like, a long fucking time.
Sure.
Like, it's always just the one death, and they, dramatize it, just like,
everyone gets
I mean, not
hit.
even really Game of Thrones does that to that level, but, The Walking Dead was much more frugal. Is that the right word with their characters? They were just kind
of... yeah, I guess so. That might be the word to use. I don't know specifically.
But damn, what a great show and how far it fell. It's kind of crazy to even think about it. I would love to podcast about it, but like I don't even know like what the point of that would even be.
Yeah, how many seasons did it finish with?
11. 12 years, 11 seasons.
That is nuts.
And obviously it's surpassed 100
I'd be curious
to
to go back and watch that first like season or two just to really see
that
how...
That first season is
I remember it being amazing.
Is a masterpiece.
Yeah.
It was the first show I started watching. So like, and it was also like the first show that kind of paved the way for like modern television.
For sure.
Breaking Bad, Game of Thrones,
Especially
and
on
The Walking
AMC.
Dead. Yeah,
I was going to
especially
say,
for AMC.
because that was before Breaking Bad.
Yes.
Correct? Yeah. It's crazy that started before Breaking Bad and then ended after.
10.
Interesting.
Halloween 2010 is when that show premiered.
That's pretty nutty. It feels older, but I guess it makes sense in the grand scheme. I mean,
you were a freshman, I was a sophomore.
Yeah. It's crazy shit. It's weird how old certain things are now, especially, we're getting to that age, I guess, where we've been around a while. Like AC had 12, that was like 15 years ago. Anyways.
Yeah, I saw the Assassin's Creed 1 hit
made
that
me feel
milestone.
terrible. I wanted to.
Yeah, it's the 15-year thing.
No, it's yeah, exactly. So, but
anyway, we are here to discuss the Game Awards, the first ever time we're doing a predictions episode, because I decided this year, I'm like, I want to like cover the Game Awards in more in depth, but not in one podcast, because I feel and in the years past we have a lot to say in those episodes, and
sure.
they get lengthy, and we get
in the weeds.
But like we're also like, all right, like we're like, wow, we're like
2 hours.
awards in,
Yeah.
and we're like not probably having like the most fullest conversation about everything. So it's kind of splitting it up into 3 things: the predictions, the actual Game Awards coverage, and then talking about our own Game of the Years and like stuff that's not in the Game of the Year contending: Pentiment, Callisto Protocol, Midnight Suns,
Sure.
Final Fantasy VII Crisis Core are the 4 games I have left to get this year.
When does Midnight Suns come out?
Second, Callisto and Midnight Suns are the same day.
Yeah,
So on
I think
fucking
Callisto is
Friday.
really my only game
On
left that I'm
Friday.
waiting on. Oh, that is fucking nuts.
It is
this Friday?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
Good thing they finished God of War.
Yeah, that is good, actually.
What are you getting it on?
I don't know, actually. I might
You
get
didn't pre-order yet?
I didn't pre-order. Maybe I'll get it on the PS5, play it on the big screen. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm got it on the Xbox just because that's where I played all the Dead Spaces.
That makes sense. Yeah, I guess I do have them all on there. I don't know. We'll see.
So I did put out a forum. I think it was out for like 2 weeks. So what we decided to do was we'd have sort of our little poll of like what you guys are voting for and what we're voting for, and sort of break it down. Not only with the questions that we decided to do, the awards we decided to do. We omitted a few, usually like we do every year, and then we asked some open poll questions to sort of like either
Gauge the crowd,
inject within the conversation, or be able to talk about after, like why should X game win X award? What do you think will be announced? Comments on stuff we omitted. I only have one thing to talk about there, and then sort of if anyone has, there's games like Xenoblade Chronicles 3, Bayonetta 3, Immortality, Neon White, Splatoon, Multiversus, that me and Trio don't play. So it's like, all right, we need the gaps filled by some of our Delco nerds out there, and you guys delivered.
We love to see it.
Thank you for everyone who submitted a poll. I'm probably going to do a poll for the game or a form for the Game Awards stuff, and it'll probably be like not voting, but like more like short form questions. So let's get into it. The order in which they were announced by Jeff Keighley on his stream. So we'll have a different order here than we will the next one. I decided. I'm like, that'll be nice. All right. Best performance awarded to an individual for voice acting, motion, and/or performance capture. We have Ashley Birch for Horizon Forbidden West as Aloy. Charlotte McBurney, A Plague Tale Requiem as Amicia de Rune. Christopher Judge, God of War Ragnarok as the titular God of War himself, Kratos. Maiden Gage from Immortality. She plays the main character in that. I forget her name off the top of my head. I looked that up. And Sunny Soljic, God of War Ragnarok, who plays Atreus. Do we want to give our opinions, or do we want to go right into the percentage breakdown?
Let's go in the percentage. I'm curious.
Christopher Judge with a resounding 67.9% from our polls.
I can't help but agree.
Not unexpected.
Not at all.
I guess. And I have a question for you. Now that you've beaten God of War, do you think the ending solidifies that possible win?
Yeah, I mean, not even just beyond the ending.
Like, say nothing.
I won't. No,
know?
Beyond the ending, just in general, his whole performance was so fucking fantastic.
It's definitely more fleshed than it is in 2018.
For sure. Well, he's more open. He's ready to talk.
Say. Yeah.
He does, and you really feel it, and even his interactions with Atreus and some later game stuff that I won't get into. I think he's truly awesome. I think what's his name does a great job
Did
as
you vote
Atreus as
for
well.
Chris?
I did. Yeah.
Chris got to vote for Chris.
Chris got to go for Chris. He was too good. He really is kind of a linchpin in that game, in my opinion. And
you know what's funny when I compare Atreus and Kratos? I think Atreus. Like between them both, between their two games, like Atreus definitely grew more as an actor. So it's kind of
for sure.
It's kind of interesting to be like, I could see him winning for God of War 2018, which he didn't.
Sure.
I forget who won that. Arthur Morgan.
It was Arthur. I was gonna say I think that was Red Dead. Yeah.
Yeah, Red Dead won that year, and I'm like, I think he had his moment there, and I'm like, sure, it's better, but like, I gotta give it to Charlotte McBurney, who plays Amicia in Plague Tale. That's another game that's like, okay, like she's good in the original, but in the sequel, she really comes to form. And I kind of would say the same thing with Atreus. Like, he just has more to say, and, you know, his acting chops are shown better.
Sure. No, I that makes sense. And like you're saying, he did come from a tougher place. You know, child actors are tough.
Yeah, and I don't know how old he is. Imagine now he's in his teens. And then there was, of course, Ashley Birch. It's more Aloy. I don't know. Ashley Birch has been up for awards in the past. It's just like I don't really want Ashley Birch to win another award.
Yeah, I haven't played Forbidden West yet, and I didn't really love her character in the first one.
Aloy.
Yeah.
There's not much more to say. And then Immortality. So do you know anything about this game?
Not at all.
I don't know how it's up for awards. It's a Netflix exclusive game.
I know they've been starting with the game stuff.
It's like a live action, like investigative detective game, and I'm like,
interesting. You play it through Netflix?
Yeah, remember how they were announcing?
That's right, they did. Yeah,
and this is one.
Is
of
it like
games.
a choose your own adventure type thing?
I
like
think.
in the way, like that, like what they did with that Black Mirror episode that you could like.
The bank.
You're close. The
Bandersnatch.
Bandersnatch.
Yeah, I was like, I know it's like something from Alice in Wonderland.
Bandersnatch. Yeah, interesting. That's cool.
All right, moving on. Best multiplayer for astounding online multiplayer gameplay and design, including co-op and massively multiplayer experiences, irrespective of game genre or platform. We have Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, Multiverses, Overwatch 2, Splatoon 3, and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Shredder's Revenge.
So, sorry, quick
No.
question.
I was just rolling.
Would Halo have been under consideration for this year? Like, should it have been?
Yep. I was going to talk about this here because I think it's wild. I understand there's a lot of contention with Halo Infinite, but it should be. How is it?
What are they again? What's the options?
Modern Warfare 2, Multiverses, Overwatch 2, Splatoon 3, TMNT Shredder's Revenge. How is Halo not slotted in for like TMNT?
I was gonna say, I think
like it seems like Halo 3 or Halo Infinite is like the snub of this year. Like, I understand it's not going to get nominated for Game of the Year, but multiplayer, I think
that seems weird to me.
Halo Infinite, despite all its issues, the gameplay is good, and that's what we agreed on in our review.
For sure.
Check out.
No, and I get so wait, what was the exact award again? Best ongoing serve?
No, best multiplayer. Do you want me to read the description again?
One more. Yeah, one more
For
time.
outstanding online multiplayer gameplay and design, including co-op and massively multiplayer experiences, irrespective of genre.
So if you are talking about gameplay, I do think that is a bit of a snub. I'm surprised to see TMNT in there.
Yeah,
instead.
I mean, like, I get it. It seems
It's
like
a
they
multiplayer game. I get it.
They were like, they needed a game to put in there, and they slotted it in.
How does this work? How does this voting for work? Is it like people who go?
There is a basically
it's like a panel, right?
It's like IGN,
kind of like the Oscars,
GameSpot, kind of funny. It's like a bunch of media outlets, and essentially they submit
what they
think would be in this category, and they go from there.
Interesting.
So Jeff Keighley has nothing to do with it.
Sure.
I don't even think he votes, actually.
That makes sense.
I don't know.
No, that makes sense.
I don't know where Jeff stands.
Yeah, I would say it's a bit of snub in my opinion. Of course, that game had a very rocky reception. I can't disagree with that. But if we're talking about in the way of gameplay, I do think that is one of the best playing games, multiplayer games out there.
So our breakdown goes as follows. It's pretty split up. With leading 30.8% to Shredder's Revenge, 15.4 to Call of Duty, Multiverses, same, another 15.4, 23.1 to Overwatch 2, and 15.4 to Splatoon. So it's pretty split up.
So Multiverse is taking it home in that poll, or which one was?
No, TMNT.
Okay.
And it's definitely the most different game on here. and I think a lot of people like that game. I know it reviewed really well.
Yeah.
Overwatch 2 definitely doesn't deserve it. I don't think Overwatch 2. It's just more of Overwatch 1. We've played this game before.
I'm sorry, swap it out for Overwatch 2, actually. Swap
Yeah,
Halo
I can
out.
get behind that,
actually,
actually.
because apparently that literally is just the same game.
It is.
So, like you're saying, so yeah.
Personally, I voted for Modern Warfare 2. This year, for some reason, Call of Duty kind of like pierced its bullshit.
A little
And
bit,
a lot
for
of
sure.
people like this one. for
Absolutely.
once.
Yeah, I don't know. I heard the campaign's fun. I do think the nostalgia kicks in there a lot, too, and helps. But I don't know. I've heard nothing but good things. A lot of people seem to be really enjoying it.
And I've heard good things about multiverses
As well, yeah.
as well as Splatoon.
I never did get the
3.
chance to get. That's free on all platforms, right? Like that's a free to play.
Yep.
Awesome.
Yeah, and that's like a Smash.
Yeah.
clone.
Yeah.
Next up, best ongoing game. If I can find the mouse. Awarded to a game for outstanding development of ongoing content that evolves the player experience over time. Apex Legends, Destiny 2, Final Fantasy 14, Fortnite, and Genshin Impact. I really don't like this award. I think it's just kind of like, it's just like the same like few games every year.
So it's like what's been doing it better. Yeah, I to be honest don't have a ton to say on that one.
Fortnite beat out in our polls with a 33.3%, tied with Final Fantasy 14. Final Fantasy 14 and Fortnite tied this poll for us. With Destiny 2 at 16.7, and then both Genshin Impact and Apex at 8.3. If, in my opinion, I voted for Final Fantasy 14. It's just kind of the game. It's the standout of these.
Sure.
Final Fantasy 14 had like a wave of people kind of coming into it within the last like year or two.
Interesting.
So I kind of like took that for account. Apex Legends is the only game here I play, and I don't think Apex this last year has really done anything
Mind blowing.
stellar.
No, I agree.
If anything, I'm critiquing like what can they do different to kind of make the seasons a little bit more
Spicy. Yeah, and interesting for sure. Oh, one quick I will say just to let you know, quick a shortcut on that. If you want to scroll, you probably know this, but use 2 fingers and just scroll on the pad, and like go up like you're scrolling down it.
They know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm gonna read this one.
Much simpler than.
Yeah, I'm gonna read this one at the end. I have something for Splatoon 3, but I just want to save it to the end.
Gotcha.
It's part of that.
Sure.
It's a longer entry, but next up we have best art direction for astounding, creative, and/or technical achievement in artistic design and animation. Elden Ring, God of War Ragnarok, Horizon Forbidden West, Scorn, and Stray.
What took it away? What took it away though?
Is my vote.
Of course, I agree.
Scorn.
Scorn did?
Yep.
Good, because again,
the game is art direction.
is art direction. Yeah, it is.
We said it in our review. It's like this has to win it. It's the only thing that like really
It's
stands
so
out.
interesting and different compared to anything else we see. Just based purely on the look. But
Yeah,
I agree with that. Can't say much more. Go watch our Scorn review now.
Yeah, Elden Ring coming in second with a 26.7%.
I completely agree with that.
Okay. I just don't think like I'm not. Yeah, I guess
Elden Ring's the
does-
first
does
game in a
look
while that I've
interesting.
blown. Like I've just been like, this is so cool. Like you go into an area and you're like, oh my god.
It's like I get why you would vote Elden Ring, but I'm like I think there are better examples of art direction in game. Like I don't think that's like you know what but it's like think about Elden Ring. What do you think about? It's like the look of it.
No, it's true.
Like kind of
it's more of the feeling, really,
But
actually,
there's-
which is funny.
Right.
I would say the most consistent other ones out of that is absolutely Ragnarok. Like the aesthetic in that game is so well done.
But here's the thing: when I think of Ragnarok, it's Norse mythology. It's not original.
See, but I think
I
disagree.
I take away points for that.
I don't know. I think they do Norse mythology a lot different from what we've seen in other places, and the magic and
I
magical
will
stuff.
agree because I was playing yesterday and I was thinking about it, and I'm like, yeah, I mean, like, sure, it's Norse mythology, like I just said, but like this is a pretty different interpretation of it. But
I just think it's such a cohesive vision that's why it would take it for me at that time. But I think Scorn is the top.
God
one
of
for sure.
War clocked in at 20%, and then we have Stray at 13.3, and Horizon at the bottom with 6.7. Stray, I can understand. I think Stray has a pretty, like you were saying, like cohesive vision.
Sure.
And it has like a. You played Stray, right?
Yeah, I played. I didn't finish it, but
it has like a look to it.
Absolutely.
And like a feel to it.
yeah,
That I can
the
understand.
dystopian techie
And
type
Horizon.
thing. It's fine.
Horizon's gonna get snubbed of everything this
I think
year.
it is
That's
too,
We'll
unfortunately.
just say it now.
No, I do, yeah.
I don't think Horizon wins a single award, just like it didn't in in 2016 or 17 when
They
it came
really
out.
didn't win any back
No,
then?
because what traipsed it? Breath of the Wild came out a week after it.
That's
and
right.
killed
I
it.
forgot. People
Just
were
like
saying,
Elden Ring did this year. Horizon won't win a thing. I'm
Poor
telling
guys. Poor Gorilla.
you. Yeah.
But again, award shows don't matter, and it's all a sham.
a
So
fugazi.
yeah.
Best score in music for outstanding music, inclusive of score, original song, and or licensed soundtrack. I think they usually split this up in the past. But anyway.
Do we want to say ours first? Or do you want to go through it first?
Yeah, let me read them through. Olivier
Want me to try?
Deriviere, I think, for A Plague Tale Requiem. Tsukasa Saito for Elden Ring. Bear McCree for God of War Ragnarok. Two Feathers for Metal Hellslinger. And Yasunori Mitsuda for Xenoblade Chronicles 3 Trio. What do you think's the best score in music?
I mean, the most memorable one out of the ones that I played on this is definitely God of War's. Like that.
which is leading with 42.9%.
It's really good. I think that soundtrack is awesome, and it really invokes a feeling.
My vote, Olivier for Plague Tale. I think Plague Tale's music really kind of
Seals the deal.
rang out to me. There's a lot. I kind of look at God of War stuff and I'd be like, okay, but we had it very similarly in
For
2018.
sure. No, absolutely.
So it's kind of like, I'm like, yeah, like Plague Tale, I think deserves more recognition than God of War. Bear McCreary is a great composer. I really like him. He does a lot of stuff, including The Walking Dead, ironically. Then we have Elden Ring with 28.6 of the vote. And then Xenoblade Chronicles with 7.1% of the vote. Nobody voted for Metal Hellslinger.
What is that one?
It's like a.
Oh, sorry, I was trying to get the chat up.
It's okay. It's like a.
Sorry, guys.
Just put the volume down.
I thought I did.
It's a game that's like it's like a, not a bullet hell.
Is that the
kinda
one
like a
that was
Doom
on Game
game.
Pass? I think I did.
It's like a Doom game, but like you.
I know
play
exactly
to
what you're talking
music,
about. Yeah,
and
yeah.
a lot of like metal artists are involved in it, and I hear it's pretty good.
Interesting.
So, but again, it's like an indie title. I don't think a ton of people played it. It's obviously doesn't stand a chance. Elden Ring, like I think
I don't really remember.
I think this is
Elden
anyone's
Rings.
game.
Yeah, I really don't know.
Obviously, we can't speak to Xenoblade, but like Elden Ring, God of War, Ragnarok, and Plague Tale, they all have good scores and stuff.
Absolutely.
It's kind of hard to be like,
This is the one. Yeah.
like, like they could all win it. Like I think it's anyone's game.
I agree.
Like if Elden Ring won it, I wouldn't be surprised.
Sure.
Because there's a lot of like iconic themes from that. Like again, we're talking about a new game compared to like God of War, which is taking music from its first one.
For sure.
It's the way I think I look at it.
No, that makes sense.
Best audio design, recognizing the best in-game audio and sound design. We have Modern Warfare 2, Elden Ring, God of War Ragnarok, Gran Turismo 7, and Horizon Forbidden West Trio. What'd you vote for?
Modern Warfare with God of War at a close second, because a huge chunk of Modern Warfare and war games in general is the sound design and hearing the ching and the
and Call of Duty is very known for their outstanding audio design.
So
I voted for Modern Warfare 2 as well.
Yeah, I think that just makes the most sense. But I will also say honorable mention to God of War's the sounds of your axe hitting things. Your freaking. I was going to spoil something. I'm glad I just caught myself. It's awesome. It really is. The crunch of the frost, the flame going whoosh. It's good. It keeps you in the game.
We had no votes for Horizon, but 23.1 between Gran Turismo, Call of Duty, and God of War. But beating it out is Elden Ring with 30.8% of the vote.
I take it back. Gran Turismo should be second, if anything. Because I feel like that's also another thing where the changing of the gears, the sound of the engine, I feel like a lot of people love the small details, especially in a game like that. But
yeah. Again, I don't think it's clear. Like awards like that are like really like anyone's.
No, we can only give our best prediction.
Anyone's guess.
Yeah.
Next up is an interesting one. Best narrative for outstanding storytelling and narrative development in a game. A Plague Tale Requiem, Elden Ring, which is an interesting inclusion for this.
Yeah, I saw that.
God of War Ragnarok, Horizon Forbidden West, and Immortality. We can't talk about Immortality too much.
No.
But personally, I'm not done God of War. So it's hard for me. For as much as I played, I shied away and I said, you know what what stuck out narratively to me, and it was Plague Tale. I praise that game for like the story, and it really is about the story. It's not about the gameplay, where I would argue God of War has a way tighter gameplay and a way better gameplay what's the word?
Loop.
Thank you, loop. Yep. Than a Plague Tale does. The gameplay is just kind of, it's good and it's fine, but it's not like I'm playing Plague Tale Requiem for the gameplay. Like I don't think anyone's saying that. I think you're playing Plague Tale Requiem for the story.
Yeah.
I'm assuming you went God of War.
Not even a question. Yeah, it's so good, and that's
Especially
the thing I
after
love.
Beating it, do you think that changed your opinion?
I mean, this year's been very sparse story-wise.
64.3% for God of War, by the way.
I think just the acting, the storytelling in general, the world building in that game, as well as having some of the most fun gameplay out there, is just too much to beat. And yeah, it's a very great story that I cannot go much deeper into, but I absolutely would vote for God of War. And like I said, there's not many other options for me this year. Like Elden Ring, I think.
Let's talk about Elden Ring. Narrative.
I think that's fine to put in your narrative. I think it's, me, my issues with how that game tells its story and what I would personally change. But the narrative is there if you want to look. Whereas I don't think it's like non-existent, like people are saying, like should it even be considered? I do think there is one enough to be considered. But do I think it's as strong and as straightforward as like a God of War or Plague Tale? No.
Right. I think it's fine that it's in there. It's an interesting that it's in there, because
Sure.
I think if any other game came out this year and had
I was
a
gonna
stronger
say,
story, it would have been slotted out.
If we had Starfield, if we had Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League, if we had some other very heavily narrative-based games, I would be curious to see if that game was on this list.
And just like you said, like the narrative and the story and is good in Elden Ring. I think it's just like non-traditional. So I think it's just in a weird place among the rest of these games where,
especially for your general
every
public.
other game is a traditional story.
Sure.
And even Horizon Forbidden West, I think, does a lot of really like. I think Colin Moriarty said it on Sacred Symbols. It's like you can't predict where that game is going.
Yeah.
Like there's no fucking way you start that game and go, this is where it's going. Even the first one.
Oh, absolutely.
And I think that maybe unlike God of War, it has like the surprise elements to its advantage. Like again, I haven't beaten it.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I could see God of War taking this home or Plague Tale. I think it's really between the two. Unless Elden Ring stands like come out and be like, yeah, fuck God of War.
No, absolutely. Yeah, Elden Ring's it. Yeah, I can't wait to talk about God of War. It's really good in the way that they make you think it's going one way and then you left turn. I really loved it. But what's up next, Gooch?
We have Best Indie for outstanding and creative technical achievement in a game made outside the traditional publisher.
Now, some of these I did skip because I just felt like I didn't really have a vote for. This might have been one of them, but continue.
Yeah, we have Cult of the Lamb, Neon White, Sifu, Stray, and Tunic.
Sifu's been on my list, I will say.
All
for a
these
while.
games, I think, are on a very similar level.
Sure.
We have an outstanding 66.7% for Stray, which I could see coming. And we actually have a write-in for that one. Jess Jarnagle writes, I think not for Stray, but for Tunic. I think Tunic should win Best Indie. I think all the others besides Sifu have bigger publishers behind them that push this category into a gray area when it comes to a true indie title. Stray being a Sony exclusive, I think.
That is interesting.
It rings that's fair with that one. I think over the years, indie titles have been mislabeled a bit, and instead of being self-published titles, we're looking at a smaller dev teams that get picked up by bigger publishers. I wish the award would go back to devs that either self-publish or use smaller publishers that don't really have huge names for themselves. I think there's something really true about that, because like to skip forward, like Stray is up for Best Indie, or Best Debut Indie, and it's gonna win.
Yeah,
it's gonna win.
Sure.
It has Sony backing though, so it's kind of like.
So how does that Sony backing? By the way, hi Jess, she's in the chat right now. how much did, when you're a publisher, I know little to nothing about this, like ins and outs of publishing a game. A publisher, do they pay to have the game made, or is it like, do they pay production costs, or do they pay to just have it literally like printed and put out?
So
like, how does that work?
Publisher is kind of, so like, take God of War.
Yeah.
Sony is its publisher.
Yes.
They're putting the money
Up for it.
Yes. Right.
Okay.
Right. I mean,
Okay.
obviously,
That makes
Sony Santa Monica, it's probably like a bad example.
No,
maybe
but
it's
that's a first party.
maybe
No,
it's
that's a first party studio. No, that makes
They're
sense.
a first party studio. I mean, they're wealthy. You know,
Yeah.
they made a lot of money from God of War, but
Absolutely.
also Sony has backed them to give them whatever capital they need to publish that
Makes
game.
sense. Makes sense.
And you know, Annapurna is behind Stray, but it's also an exclusive. So you're looking at Stray and
Gray
it's like,
area. I get it. No, I do.
and it's
It does. It feels
Annapurna,
weird.
and
Yeah.
it's like they have a lot of money. Whereas Tunic, that game was in development limbo for like years. I
you
played
know,
that
I
at
feel like
PAX
I-
2019.
I feel like I remember you mentioning that. Yeah.
Yeah, and I played Tunic, and it
was fine?
It was all right.
Yeah.
I think it's good.
That's the one with like the little fox man,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and there's a Neon White is also published by Annapurna. Cult of the Lamb is Devolver Digital. And Sifu is by Slow Clap, and they self-publish, and so they self-publish. They
Makes
made it
sense.
and they self-published.
Okay.
It. So it's kind of tough.
It's weird.
But Stray is the standout of the year, and I think it's going to win Best Indie and Best Debut Indie.
That would make sense. I mean, everyone always talks about it.
Yeah, right. So like I said, Stray 66.7, Tunic 16.7. Cult of the Lamb 8.3, and Sifu with also 8.
Cult of the Lamb. Who made that again? That's not the Stardew Valley guy, right?
Massive Monster.
Okay.
No, the next Stardew Valley is the chocolate tier.
That's right. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking
Absolutely.
about. Yeah, so
Oh, I didn't even notice you had. I'm sorry to quick tangent. I didn't even notice you had all your Walking Dead posters up. I just.
oh yeah, I put them up. I had the one up,
Yeah.
and then I was like,
got a
I
feeling.
haven't had
yeah.
these two up in
Feeling it right. Yeah.
years.
No, it's
so
good.
I was like,
Great stuff.
I need to put them up. But yeah, Best Indie. It's always a weird award. I kind of agree with.
I
Jess's
feel like
whole
there is a
sentiment.
weird
It's
kind of similar issue going on in the film industry with like what's it constitutes an
Just an
indie
indie
movie.
film?
Yeah, an indie film. It's an interesting question.
and even between like Best Debut and Best Indie, I don't think like if one is up for one, they shouldn't be
Be
in
up for the other.
because it kind of just like Stray's
Defeats
gonna,
the purpose,
Stray's
yeah,
gonna
almost.
kill it. Like I guarantee it. There's too many crazy
Yeah, it does
cat people, gamers out there. It's gonna win.
No, it's true.
It's gonna
true.
win. Like I guarantee it.
Yeah.
I think I even voted Stray because like the only one I played on here is Tunic, and
Like I said, Sifu I want to play really bad.
I think Tunic is really cool, but like the issue with Tunic is so the game like they throw you into the game. There's no you can't read anything. It's in a language like you can't understand.
and you have to like learn it, right? Is that like
You
one
like
of the
pick up
mechanics?
pieces of a manual, and the manual tells you, but like via pictures, visually tells you what to do and where to go.
Interesting.
And I think that's a really cool idea.
That is.
But I think it's almost too mysterious.
Sure,
I'm like,
you're
this
getting
is-
lost too
this
much.
is difficult. Like
Yeah.
I'm getting lost. I don't know where to go.
What I'm doing.
And especially for like there's a lot of achievements in that game that are like really behind secrets. I'm like, there's no way anyone in their right mind like would find these little secrets in
By
this
themselves
manual.
without. Yeah.
I'm like, this is too like this is like it's
Too in depth a little. Yeah.
yeah, it's like too much. It's like I like the idea on paper, but I
But the
think
execution-
in practice, I think was I think you needed a little more guidance
Sure.
with this. I don't know.
Huh.
Next up, we have Best Mobile, obviously for the best game playable on a mobile device. Apex Legends Mobile, Diablo Immortal, Genshin Impact, Marvel Snap, and Tower of Fantasy. Marvel Snap winning that one, which is my vote, for 38.5% of the vote.
Same here. I feel like we've talked about it a good amount. It's a great mobile game. It really is.
Yeah,
For a card game especially too.
I haven't played a mobile game in quite some time, and I love it. Marvel Snap is awesome. I can't tell you, like, dude, when I go up to go to the bathroom, I'm playing a game of Marvel Snap. They're less than 5-minute games. They're really fun. It's really easy. It's like Hearthstone if it was shorter and easier. Like, I
Sure,
think
and not as maybe not as in depth.
it's not as hardcore,
Yeah.
not as in depth. Like anyone can really jump in and I think quickly understand how to play.
And it doesn't feel like it's kind of barraging you with microtransactions and such, right?
And I think that's the best
That's
part
good.
because I think that's like the thing that makes me not play mobile games is like, okay, like do I have to spend a lot of money on this to actually like?
I remember I got
fun?
Tetris a while, like I was playing it forever, and I don't know why. I've broken this finally, but I used to never want to pay for a mobile game, like to just get rid of ads. And I finally got to this point where I was playing Tetris so much on my phone, I'm like, why don't I just pay the $2 and get rid of the fucking ads? And I finally did. And then
never played it again.
now Tetris doesn't work anymore. They like close that app down. Like
Really?
it's like a new version that's like not the classic version of it. And it sucks. It's not even sort of comparable. But I tried downloading the app. It's like, thanks so much for your patronage. The app does not work anymore. I'm like, you fucking assholes. But anyways. Yeah, no, that makes sense to me.
What a bunch of news.
Marvel Snap.
Genshin Impact came in second with 30.8% of the vote. I didn't even know Genshin Impact had a mobile version, so that was interesting. Diablo Immortal, which is probably the most controversial one on this list, just because it came out and it was super microtransaction heavy, pay to win bullshit.
Yeah.
Blizzard just digging their hole deeper.
Yeah,
like
that sucks.
Like what the fuck, guys?
Idiots.
And then Apex Legends Mobile, which came out this year. I always think it's kind of weird, and nobody played Tower Fantasy. Nobody voted for it. I think it's a Square. No, it's not a Square game. I don't know who makes that, but it's Hottest Studio, Perfect World, and Level Infinite. Level Infinite is NetEase. It's a spin-off of something, but anyway, yeah, Diablo Immortal. Blizzard has two very controversial titles in the Game Awards this year: Overwatch 2 and Diablo Immortal. They can't fucking win.
I still don't know how that.
Like, not even with their controversy stuff, but
Just
like,
in general,
they can't
like, their
even win
games
back
aren't
their
doing-
fans,
yeah.
like with their games. It's like pathetic.
What are you guys doing?
Next up, we have Best Community Support, recognizing a game for outstanding community support, transparency, and responsiveness, inclusive of social media activity and game updates and patches. This is kind of like, pick one: ongoing game or community support. They're kind of like in similar fields. It's like, why have?
Why are you're almost like double stating yourself, like you're saying the same thing twice. Yeah, we
Yeah, it's like it's like saying the same thing, but like a
little bit different. Yeah.
Oh yeah, let me read the nominees for that. Apex Legends, Destiny 2, Final Fantasy 14, Fortnite, and No Man's Sky trio. You voted for No Man's Sky.
I did.
Guarantee, because you play it.
That's absolutely why. It's the one I have the most experience with. I do feel like they still put out some very concretely game-changing elements every once in a while. I haven't played it a lot recently, but it's a fun, just kind of popcorn game I can always go back to, a little comfort food. And I would highly recommend playing it, especially if you have Game Pass. I'm fairly confident it's on there for free.
The thing I think No Man's Sky is going to take it because like they just keep updating it.
No, they do. They're not stopping. They really seem to
content
keep
is
going.
there.
I think that's going to be in VR on PSVR as well, if I'm not mistaken. Which
Another game that's already out, going to an exclusive VR platform. What a concept.
that's what I'm kind of. I guess it makes sense they can't get on Oculus. There are certain games that I would play the shit out of on Oculus if they actually were able to be played.
I just realized I didn't
Quest.
mention what awards we omitted. I want to go back up and say that because I totally forgot.
Well, do you want to do it just at the end now, or like? before?
Yeah.
Well, wait,
You're
yeah.
right.
Yeah.
You're right. Trio, you got good ideas.
What can I say? Sometimes. every once in a while.
So out of our poll, 41.7% of the vote went to No Man's Sky.
Oh, really? That's great.
Final Fantasy 14 coming in second. I think that also will be a contender. Fortnite with 8.3, Apex Legends with 8.3, and Destiny 2 with 16.7. So it's between No Man's Sky and Final Fantasy 14. I think one of those two definitely is the pick.
I agree.
This next one's very funny because it just echoes the conversation we just had. Best debut indie for the best debut game created by a new indie studio. The nominees: Neon White, Norco, Stray, Tunic, and Vampire Survivors. With an 84.6% of the vote, Stray, and only Tunic got 15.4. Everything else was not voted for.
Jesus.
So clearly Stray's going to win. It's what else is there to say?
Yeah, exactly. We
Why didn't you finish it?
I just never got back to. I don't know. It really didn't lock me in. I was getting a bit confused on some of the puzzles, and you know me with my puzzles. I don't know. It just didn't really.
Yeah. I remember when you first told me that, and I was like, what?
I really have to be like absolutely stuck. Like, hey, I got through fucking Scorn without using one, so I think I earned my stripes.
Pretty
and
impressive.
that's a tough one. So leave me alone.
That first puzzle too.
No, absolutely. But yeah, it just seems like double dipping. But anywho,
yeah, I think like if I think for like the next award, I'm gonna have a section of like what do you change? What would you change?
What
like,
awards would you change?
What can Jeff do differently?
Yeah.
What can we tell him?
Not 3 hours long, Jeff. How about that?
I think it's like combining some of these awards and like tool them differently so you're not like.
Well, is he gonna go through every single one of these on the like full awards show, or is he gonna do like the thing before where he like
the ones we're talking about? Maybe, but like, is esports gonna like best esports player has been shelved to the pre-show / Cindy Goodman, you know, in the middle, not on stage, but it also has been on stage too. So it's kind of like a
I don't know.
It's a toss up. It's always different which awards he puts in those like lesser slots.
For sure. Yeah. I don't know. Interesting stuff.
Best action game for the best game in the action genre focused primarily on combat. So keep that in mind. Combat, people. Combat. Bayonetta 3, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, Neon White, Sifu, and TMNT Shredder's Revenge. Pretty interesting category for
Do you have who I voted there for, or did I vote for that one? If it's not at hand,
I can
don't worry
look,
about it.
but
No. I can't remember if I even voted for it.
So, Bayonetta 3 is 41.7% of the vote. You guys think that is going to be the winner for best action. Runner-up is Call of Duty with 25%. And then tied up Shredder's Revenge and Sifu with 16.7. Nobody voted for Neon White.
See, it's funny, like the way you explain the award, it sounds more like it would be more like a melee fighting game that would be considered rather than like when you say I don't know though, but I mean it makes sense. They do say combat and stuff. So.
I haven't heard much about Bayonetta 3 despite the actress controversy that
which quickly settled
a lot. Well, yeah, which quickly nobody decided to talk about once the game came out. I think Sifu's going to win this.
That would make sense.
Sifu
I've heard it's really good
title.
Yeah,
and it's
very combat focused. I mean, that's the whole game, obviously.
Right. So like
that you get older as you die in that, right? Isn't the idea or something like that?
Yes.
I really want to play that.
Yeah. Not that I want to play it. I think it's just like a game either speaks to me or doesn't. I don't think I'll play Sifu anytime soon.
Fair.
But next up, we have Best Action Adventure. This is always one that'll be there. Action Adventure.
Yeah.
For Best Action Adventure Game, combining combat with traversal and puzzle solving. Plague Tale Requiem, God of War Ragnarok, Horizon Forbidden West, Stray, and Tunic. God of War with 84.6% of the vote. Stray got 7.7, and Plague Tale got 7.7. I think God of War is the shoe-in for this. I mean, I voted for God of War.
Based on that description alone,
right?
How it combines puzzles, gameplay, story, all that stuff is immaculately done. I can't say anymore.
Yeah, and I think again, Forbidden West is just the forgotten game of this year.
Again, I didn't even
nominated, but nobody's going to.
And don't get me wrong, it did very well. It sold very well, that game. I think it's like one of the best PlayStation sellers of this year. But even me, like I haven't played it. I'm actually thinking it might be on sale right now for Black Friday.
Stray and Tunic, it's just like they're very specific titles, but they're not. How do they hold up to God
They're not
of
main.
War?
No, I mean it's not even on the same.
It's just a joke.
Yeah.
Like there's no way it could win.
No competition.
And a Plague Tale. Again, as much as I like Plague Tale Requiem, I think it is a Game of the Year contender absolutely this year by Asobo Studio. It's not. You're not playing it for the action adventure. I mean, you are, but like that's not what the gameplay isn't the standout thing.
Sure,
it's just not. Like, so I really thought about it, and I'm like, yeah, God of War Ragnarok is the finely tuned game here.
No, absolutely. I mean, it's fun to play and engrossing to watch. It's great.
This next one, I got some stuff to say about. Best role-playing game. For the best game designed with rich player character customization and progression, including massively multiplayer experiences. Our nominees. Elden Ring. Interesting.
You don't think that's... Oh, okay, continue. I'll wait until you...
Live Alive, Pokemon Legends Arceus, Triangle Strategy, and Xenoblade Chronicles 3. Which one is not like the rest, Trio?
Do you think it's... Are you saying it's Elden Ring?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't think Elden Ring's an RPG.
I would harshly disagree, but I'm interested to hear why.
I have a very distinct definition of an RPG, and I don't... Elden Ring has RPG elements, absolutely, but I don't think you're playing it to play the RPG component of it. I think it's much more focused in its combat and yeah, you create a character and you create a build, but I think RPG always it's your Dragon Age, it's your Mass Effect, it's your Live Alive, which is a Square Enix RPG, it's your Final Fantasies, it's your Kingdom Hearts. Like, I just have such a weirder definition of an RPG.
So are you saying that the narrative isn't present enough to make this an RPG for you? That's kind of what it sounds like to me. Because this is an RPG for me, save your dialogue and your story. Like how you interact with that story. But otherwise, I mean, the way you continue to upgrade your character, you get different weapons, you can put on different clothes, you can play different styles. I think it's very much an RPG.
And that's a good
point. Yeah, no, I hear. I appreciate it.
Yeah,
no, but
I don't think I'm right.
No, I get what you're saying,
and I definitely don't think
because it feels very
conflicting
RPG to me.
Opinion is wrong.
Yeah, no, for
I just
sure.
have a different definition. I voted for Live Alive. That's a game I didn't play. It's a remake of an older Square Enix game. It's actually made like Octopath Traveler with that 2D 3D hybrid graphic look, and I'm like, stereotypically, like that's an RPG. Like there's a lot like Triangle Strategy, Xenoblade, Axe Pokemon, and Elden Ring. They're the two like games that people, the popular games. Everything else is your niche JRPG.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what I'm looking at, and I'm like, I think like Elden Ring will probably win this.
I think it will.
And according to our poll,
Elden Ring, it was like 80 something.
Will win. With 84.6% of the vote, and Pokemon Arceus and Live Alive have 7.7% of the vote. Triangle Strategy and Xenoblade Chronicles not even voted for. I think Elden Ring's popularity is just going to give it. It's
absolutely,
it's a gimme.
No, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
I can't help but agree.
Yeah, you could put God of War in this category.
See,
because it has the RPG elements,
but it has elements, but not nearly as heavily as Elden Ring. To me.
Right, but doesn't it annoy you when you are using equipment in God of War and how it's all very
stat heavy and stuff?
You're runic and you're
no,
strength.
absolutely.
It's I don't really give a shit about.
I don't
any
either,
of that.
but I will say to that game, I don't feel like it. Like I didn't care about that the whole game, and it didn't affect the game.
Even don't give me God of War. I'm like,
you're playing good now.
Yeah,
I went give me. I went give me no mercy. I
like to suffer. Mm-hmm. But even in that, I'm like, I'm cognizant of my stats and what's going on, but I'm not like I have to build all defense or I lose.
No, it's true.
Even on that highest difficulty, my stats really don't seem to matter all that much.
It's more your level. It seems to really matter. And no, don't get me wrong. I think Elden Ring is far more of an RPG than God of War is, though, for sure. In my opinion, and I feel like
Horizon could be in this category.
Yeah, I think the RPG elements are so integral to what makes
modern games,
and also what makes Elden Ring fun, and just what makes it interesting, and building your character, and making a cleric or whatever, or making this, and having your own distinct style, and where you're attacking, and whether you're using magic or whatnot. Whereas God of War, you're going through that and playing that probably in a pretty similar way. You're using your weapons, you're blocking, you're dodging. You're playing as Kratos, but I don't know. I hear what you're saying.
Yeah, I just think with all the games with RPG elements, it's kind of made this award a little bit trite.
Oh, for sure.
So that's why I'm like, when I think of this award, it's the JRPGs, it's the niche
games. So Western
games.
RPGs, even no, for sure.
Yeah, but even a game like Mass Effect or Dragon Age, like they're RPGs.
Those are Western RPGs, right?
Correct.
Yeah, they're BioShock though.
Yeah.
No, I agree.
Next up, very, very interesting category. Best fighting game. For the best game designed primarily around head-to-head combat. Our nominees: DNF Duel, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure All-Star Battle R, The King of Fighters 15, Multiverses, and the weird one, Sifu. Sifu is not a fighting game. but it's melee.
It's melee. See, yeah, I
It's
would
almost
consider
like
a
they
fighting game.
ran out
Like
of
if you were doing that, like like if you were fighting another person, like a real person, that would be different.
It's almost like they ran out of nominees for this.
No, I know. Like it's funny.
a bit
I think
weird. It's
like
a
I
bit
called
weird.
For Honor a fighting game, which I think it very much is. That's a
You know,
head-to-head.
I think you
combat.
can make that argument.
And you know, you have
based on what
combats.
just
Yeah,
said.
you have So, but whereas this, no, I would agree. I think you're right. They just ran out.
And
of
I don't
nominees.
play a lot of these games. Like a lot of these are Japanese fighting games. Multiverses came out on top with 58.3% of the vote, and that's
Makes
the game
sense.
I voted for because
Yeah.
I think Multiverses really like there are a lot of Smash clone games
Sure.
that don't do well.
They
And
always- yeah, most of the time.
Multiverses had a lot of conversation around it when it launched,
And it seems to be still sticking around.
right.
So yeah.
Right, I know they just added new characters and
Yeah, I
stuff.
think they added like Velma or something. It is funny how
Black
it is.
Adam.
Oh, did they add Black Adam?
Yeah.
That was
I
funny.
don't know if it was.
I
like,
definitely
right
got to
when
pick
the
that
movie
up.
came
I
out.
want to give it a shot. I know Penn's a friend of the show was also mentioning it to us a lot when it came out. I always wanted to give it a shot.
Yeah, he had a write-in about it that I didn't include because I tried to like get everyone once. I wanted everyone. Like I'm like,
I hear you, yeah,
I
yeah.
don't want to double up.
No, I hear you.
But he wrote in about multiverses.
That's good.
Yeah, I don't know, Jeff. Sifu, come on, man, come on.
I can't think of another one though to put in there though too. So there probably is some like one indie
Right,
fighting game or something.
games
Yeah.
are strange every year. It's always like, okay, like if MK came out, it's gonna win.
Yeah,
Or
just give me Injustice 3.
like
and I'll
next
be,
year,
thank-
it's
thank
Street
you.
Fighter. Like
Yeah.
Street Fighter's probably gonna win best fighting game next year.
And then I guess we'll probably get Injustice 3 if not next year, the year after. I would assume.
Hope so.
Yeah.
Next up, we have Best Anticipated Game, recognizing an announced game that has demonstrably illustrated potential to push the game medium forward.
mean,
And
this
these
one's
are
obvious to me.
all 2023 titles. I definitely want to have our own most anticipated game that bar from what this list
Sure,
is.
sure.
With like,
Like on our wrap up on our Game of the Year's one.
yeah, either that or our, either the Game Awards, the next one.
Or the Game of the Year ones. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
The games of the year.
But the nominees: Final Fantasy 16, Hogwarts Legacy, Resident Evil 4, Starfield, and Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom.
I'm curious. I think I know what's going to take it, but I wouldn't be surprised if it didn't.
Well, what'd you vote for?
Starfield, easily.
I think last year Starfield had my vote. This year, no.
Why is that?
I think it's losing its hype in a way because of its limbo status.
See, I disagree. I think it's just waiting in limbo to get hype
I'm
back.
excited.
No,
Don't
for sure.
get-
Yeah.
You're right.
That's why
I'm
once
excited.
it's like once you really know it's coming, that's when
And-
I feel like it's going to start.
And that's my issue.
That's fair.
I think there's like Final Fantasy 16 is definitely coming out this year. RE4 is definitely coming out this year. Hogwarts Legacy definitely coming out. Sorry, next year.
Yeah.
You
You
and
think there's a
Starfield
chance that Starfield would get pushed again, like
I
to
fucking-
another year?
I fucking hope not. But
I think it would
there
be,
is,
if
yeah.
anything, I think there's a chance absolutely like second half of next year, but I can't see them pushing an entire another calendar year.
And
I'd be very surprised.
my vote was Hogwarts Legacy, and it's
That was my second.
You know what solidified it for me? That 30-minute showcase they did.
Yeah.
And I was like, it's coming out in February.
fucking-
it's looming out of everything on this list. I'm fucking
I just want to say
ready.
something. I give a message to all developers. Stop fucking presenting your games that way with someone like on the couch and things like that.
I love that.
I hate it.
Okay.
Just see, I like the way Rockstar does it when they release a 10-minute video with a voiceover of a British woman being like, in Rockstar's Red Dead Redemption, you'll be able to do... Like, I don't need some guy going like, whoa, this is crazy. I love Hogwarts. Like, I don't know.
From a production angle, like I like it. I think they did it. Like I think specifically like their showcase, they did a good job with it.
Sure.
They spent like 9 minutes on customization. Then they walked around Hogwarts and they talked about it, and you know they got like it was a little deep dive into what they walked through, and then the combat. The combat was the only part that I was like, yeah, it's probably a little too long.
Sure.
Like I don't think you need to spend this much time talking about it, but. From what it was, I'm like, yeah, I think this is.
The
I think
game
this is what
looks
I need.
awesome.
I needed to see that
Yeah.
to be sold. And
I'm
why I
excited.
voted
I'm
for
so
it.
excited. Yeah. And that's
So-
why like Avalanche Studios, right? They did like...
Yeah, Avalanche Software. Yeah,
And
WB Games.
They did what, Just Cause before, right? Wasn't that them?
I think so.
Pretty confident. That's crazy. Good for that. It looks great. I would say that's my close second. Absolutely, for most anticipated.
My second runner-up was Final Fantasy 16.
Gotcha.
Absolutely, I'm really excited for that one.
Like it.
With 30.8% of the vote, RE4. 23.1 Hogwarts Legacy. 23.1 also Starfield.
Resident Evil 4 took it? Interesting.
Yeah, excuse me.
An old game, you piece? No, I'm kidding.
I'm not like I'm not
excited,
I'm
but-
not an RE4 fucking
Stan.
stan,
Yeah.
but like I'm gonna play RE4
Absolutely.
remake.
I mean, yeah.
But again, I'm not like I think RE5 is better than 4, so that should tell you all you need to know.
It's kind of
about where
sad.
I'm at with that.
It does make me sad though a little bit in this day and age that the most thing that we're excited for is the old
Remakes.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I would hope to see how, but even Hogwarts Legacy, that's of course an existing IP. But I'm excited to see Starfield just because it is a new brand. But
Zelda had 15.4 and FF16 had 7.7.
I still should finish Breath of the Wild. I'm in the castle.
I mean,
I just need to.
It's been so long. What's the point?
I don't know. I think there's still a bit of a point, but I hear you.
Next award. I love this award. I think this is like awesome. Like I think we needed this award because of what's been going on in other mediums that aren't games. Best adaptation, recognizing outstanding creative work that faithfully and authentically adapts a video game to another entertainment medium. So pretty much shows and movies. Arcane, League of Legends, Cyberpunk Edge Runners, The Cuphead Show, Sonic the Hedgehog 2. I could do this for a living. And Uncharted. Like let me read the awards, Jeff. Is your pick Edge Runners Trio? And why isn't it?
It was between that and Sonic, because I watched Sonic
Did you see Sonic 2?
and I really enjoyed it.
Okay.
I thoroughly enjoyed it, and it like
No Uncharted.
no.
Did you ever see Uncharted?
No, I didn't. It's on my. I've been meaning to watch it. It's on Netflix. I was stuck between Cyberpunk. I think I'm leaning towards Cyberpunk. I think I did vote for Cyberpunk, but Sonic is a fucking
Edge
close
Runners
second.
doesn't win.
Gooch, I
I
think that's
riot.
why this was created. This award, to be honest, this year. I feel like that was kind of the not that was one of the many reasons, but I think that was the last nail in the coffin to be like,
It's
all
an-
right, we
it's an
should
awesome
because there.
award.
But
I
I
love
mean, you just read out 5 very solid. I mean, an Arcane, the League of Legends thing, everyone really loved too,
Yeah,
right? Wasn't that big?
I didn't watch Arcane.
Yeah, I've heard nothing but good things. So no, this feels like the year to do that, and no, it makes sense. I'm assuming Edge Runners took it away.
Edge Runners did take away with 46.2% of the votes, but we have a write-in about this award.
What was the runner up? I'm just curious. What were the other like? What was the
I
other
was going to go through
Oh,
them.
sorry,
but
sorry.
No, it's okay. You're out of order with me in my
all right.
head. Arcane with 23.1.
Makes sense.
Cuphead with 15.4. And then Sonic with 15.4. Nobody voted for Uncharted, which is fine. It's not going to win.
It's not.
Madeline Conker writes, "You're really asking a lot for me to choose between Arcane and Edge Runners because I could talk for hours about how Arcane is a cinematic masterpiece. I will go with that. Edge Runners close second, with Cuphead Show honestly a solid third for family fun and amazingly unique animation.
That show does look amazing. It really. I watched a little bit
Cuphead?
of it on Netflix. Yeah.
It's surprisingly I don't hear a lot about it.
I forgot it existed, to be honest, until I saw it on Netflix.
I think it got a season 2.
I think it did as well.
Yeah, like it came out and nobody said much about it.
No, but it apparently did well enough to get a second season, so that's good to hear.
Yeah, so that's where we are with Cuphead. Edge Runners it's between Edge Runners and Arcane. I really think so. Those shows have very passionate followings, especially Edge Runners. Uncharted, not a great movie, not a great
It's gonna get a second one, but
no, it can't win. And then Sonic the Hedgehog 2. I know, I just don't think compared to the other things, I don't think it's.
I just think that's such a crazy feat to accomplish, in my opinion, that you made that movie work as well as it does. I don't know. It's a fucking fast hedgehog with like an anthropomorphic hedgehog in the real world. Who would have thought? But continue.
Without Sonic 1, we wouldn't have gotten this far.
No, true.
Without the fans freaking out on Twitter, we wouldn't have gotten this far.
Yeah.
I have Best Family Game up next, and I don't have a description for it, but if I had to guess, it would probably be
A family game.
the game. Let me look. Awarded for outstanding game that you could play with your family. Kirby and the Forgotten Land, Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga, Mario plus Rabbids: Sparks of Hope, Nintendo Switch Sports, and Splatoon 3 Trio. Which game are you playing with the fam?
I don't think I voted for this one.
I think you did.
Did I?
I think the answer is pretty obvious. Skywalker Saga.
Oh, no, that makes sense. I think I did skip that one. I don't know why my brain bleeped that out.
I think Skywalker Saga is going to win because maybe it doesn't necessarily this is always the Nintendo award. And I think it's a strange kind of award, but I think it's there for this very specific purpose of catering to Nintendo. I think Lego Star Wars was a really good game and appealed to a lot of different people.
Sure.
And I think it's going to win for that
I
exact reason.
can't help but agree.
With 50% of our votes from the DNN community, 25% going to Kirby and the Forgotten Land, 16.7 going to Switch Sports, and Mario Rabbids with 8.3. Nobody voted for Splatoon.
Oh, wow.
Which is kind of interesting.
I was going to say, that's
probably the most hardcore game in there.
Sure.
But again, are you playing Splatoon with your family? Maybe
Probably
not.
not. Yeah.
Maybe not. So why don't you think about that?
I will. I'll think long and hard.
2 more. Best Game Direction, awarded for outstanding creative vision and innovation in game direction and design. Our nominees: Elden Ring, God of War Ragnarok, Horizon Forbidden West, Immortality, and Stray. Trio. Where do you sit with
I feel like
best
I'm a
game
bit
direction?
of a broken record today, but I just have to give it to God of War just because it marries everything so well. I truly I loved Elden Ring. I had a blast playing that. I think if the story was a bit stronger for me, it would be my game of the year. But I've said it 1,000 times, God of War does that amazing feat of marrying gameplay with crazy amazing and satisfying gameplay with a great heart-wrenching story that keeps you wanting to come back for more. So I got to give it to God of War, just for overall direction and where they wanted to go with it.
Want to hear my vote?
Yeah.
Pretty rogue. I went for Stray.
Okay.
Here's why. I think Stray is appealing exactly because of its game direction. I think there's a lot to love there.
Absolutely.
That I think, yeah, sure, Elden Ring's really good. Sure, God of War's really good. But there's something about Stray that appealed to a lot of people that I think is the reason it's going to take it home.
Sure.
It's not like I'm voting for it because not because I played it, but because I see the value in it there.
I see what you mean. That makes sense to me. Absolutely.
Yeah, like how they made a game where you play as a cat, really
and it was
fucking
fun.
appealing.
Yeah, and it was fun.
Like,
yeah.
and that's the direction.
That's a pretty good way to put it. Yeah, no, you're a cat, and that's it. For the most part, I mean, you do puzzles too.
But Elden Ring with 57.1% of the vote from our poll. God of War with 14.3, Stray with 21.3, and then all the way at the bottom, Horizon Forbidden West with 7.1. Nobody voted for Immortality because I don't think many people played that game. Yep. So it's interesting to see most of our community when God of War kind of low.
No, I did see that. It is interesting to me. It's wrong. No, I'm kidding. But no, that did absolutely surprise me.
And here we are, the big mama.
The game of the hour.
Game of the year. Recognizing a game that delivers the absolute best experience across all creative and technical fields. Our nominees: A Plague Tale Requiem by Asobo, Elden Ring by From Software, God of War Ragnarok by Sony Santa Monica, Horizon Forbidden West by Guerrilla, Stray by Blue 12 Studio, and last, and probably least, Xenoblade Chronicles 3 by Monolith Software.
Before you get into the reactions.
Yes.
Do you think... I feel like these two last awards are almost inextricably tied to each other. Like I feel like it's not. It's
I'll
almost
disagree
doesn't.
because Death Stranding won game direction.
No, I
And it
know.
didn't win
No,
game
I
of
know.
the year.
But that's why
I'll never forget it.
I feel like it's hard for me to set. I guess me personally to just like, because I'm like, well, if that's the best game direction, obviously that creates the best game, right? Usually, or how do we separate that? Like, how do you separate them intellectually?
So
I don't know.
Let's use Stray as an example.
Yeah.
Do you think Stray is a game of the year contender?
In a year like
Compared
this year,
to this, compared to everything on this list,
I guess not. No.
where does Stray exactly?
Yeah. So
I think it exactly
in that way
answers your question.
Okay.
I
see what you mean.
In like a short form example.
I see.
You're not gonna. But Elden Ring, it has great game direction, but maybe Stray kind of like comes out of nowhere with this really unique idea, and it works, and a lot of
Interesting.
people clung to it.
Oh, yeah.
But Elden Ring is the best example of a best overall package that, pierced the veil.
Interesting. All right. I take it. I think that makes sense.
Fred writes in, I'll keep it short. Elden Ring should be the game of the year because it is one of the greatest culminations of all Soulsborne game mechanics wrapped in an incredibly solid package. It's fun, creepy, awe-inspiring, and will probably go down as one of the best games of all time. It is not without its flaws, but in the big picture of the gaming industry, this is one that will be remembered for a long, long time, much like Breath of the Wild. Fred, that is exactly why Elden Ring will win Game of the Year. It has pierced the zeitgeist in no other way that any other game on this list has. Not even God of War Ragnarok. And that's why it's going to win.
I think it's just pierced it in such a unique way that it makes such a difference, and I can't help but agree with
For
Fred.
some reason, your grandma knows what Elden Ring is. You know, And I don't think anyone could have anticipated. We've had plenty of From Software games.
And it took
Why
a
Elden
gameplay
Ring?
loop that most people have found unappealing, I would say maybe. Or not even unappealing, but
What do you mean,
uninteresting.
open world?
Open world and very much let loose. And not directionless, but you're figure it out is really it. And it was still received very well. People were welcoming being let off the leash in a major AAA game for once and not being directed towards every little question mark on the map and really having your own unique experience and journey through a game. It's very hard to do, and I can't help it. I can't disagree with Fred.
Yeah. And that's another reason why From Software should be looked at, and it's like what made them think an open world Souls game was going to hit? You know, I would have never said that. You know, they've done a lot of Souls games. This formula is a not a system seller, but like it's printing money.
Now it is,
these
especially,
games are well loved and well liked, and they were like, you know what? Let's just go out there with this. And they did like one of the biggest and most interesting and
different
open worlds we've ever seen in a time where I don't think anyone really wants to play open world games anymore.
It's hard to do fantasy in that unique of a way.
Yeah.
In my opinion. Like, it's rare that I walk across a vista of magical whatever, and you see the Wizard's Tower off in the distance, and you got fucking whatever down in the field, and these ruins off to your left. It's a bit awe-inspiring, for real.
And as much as I love Plague Tale Requiem, and some of the other titles in this list, Plague Tale Requiem has a great narrative, and that's why I love it. Complemented by really good gameplay and really good puzzles and really good collectibles, but like it's not Elden Ring. God of War. I love its gameplay loop. The combat is great. The story is great, but it's not Elden Ring.
Well,
it's just not. West. It's the same thing. It's the same conversation. Like Elden Ring, look what it did this year.
It created not created a new genre. It's pushed its genre that was much more niche
by the same company who did it once before
and propelled it into the mainstream.
Right.
I do feel like listen, God of War is my game of the year this year. It's the one I had the most fun with.
Is
the
that
one
what
I
you
enjoyed.
Voted for?
I don't think so. I think I voted for Elden Ring. I might have voted for God of War.
The logistics of what
exactly. I think it will win, and I think Elden Ring deserves to win. Did I have more fun with God of War? Did I kind of find more substance in it for me personally? Yes. But for all the reasons we've said, I do think Elden Ring absolutely deserves it, just in being the most unique offering we've gotten in a long time. And a fresh take on the open world, which, like you said, which people are getting, I'd say more super heavy gamers are getting a little bit more frustrated with. I think they still sell very well. The general public seems still very much enjoying
open world. And I think that's why Horizon Forbidden West is a game that's kind of looked at almost second-handedly because it's stereotypically open world.
Yeah.
It's a good game.
It's a great game even, probably.
There's so many icons on that fucking map, dude. So many. And I think that's one reason why God of War's open world nature that I can't wait to talk about, because I think they looked at what Gears 5 did and emulated that.
Sure, and I feel like they kind of already did what they did in the first game, for sure. They definitely expanded upon what they did the first time around, in my opinion, for sure. That those linear hub worlds. Almost.
Yeah, like when you go to your map in God of War, you're not overwhelmed.
Yeah.
And they have
you do have a bit of a checklist,
areas.
But it's nothing I think crazy, and it's fun stuff, and most of it you're getting before you eat, like without even looking. You're like, you make your way through the map and you find most of that checklist, and then you're like, oh, I maybe missed a Raven or whatever like that. But yeah, no, I think by all means, Elden Ring deserves to take it, and I would be surprised if it doesn't.
And our fans or the listeners agree. Elden Ring, 53.8% of the vote. God of War Ragnarok coming in second with 30.8%. Xenoblade Chronicles and Stray with 7.7%. So that means, folks, Horizon Forbidden West wasn't even thought of.
I do feel bad for Guerrilla. I did. Like, I know they made a great game.
Yeah,
People enjoy it.
2 games in a row.
But it's just, it's tough. It's really tough. And that's the thing. It sucks it happened twice for them. They really just kind of got eclipsed and just couldn't bounce back from it. And hey, it's what it is.
If Elden Ring doesn't win Game of the Year, that's going to be like an absolute
upset.
moment.
Yeah.
Like, what if Plague Tale won? How crazy would that be?
It would be very surprising.
People would be like, those devs would be crawling up to that.
Yeah, they would.
How did we do this?
The only reason I doubt it is just because of the game.
Not.
But yeah, it's
not. Like, if God of War won, I think it would be the same thing. It'd be like, holy shit.
Yeah. No, I agree.
I
think it would be very surprising.
Would you say God of Elden Ring would have been snubbed if that happened? I know you think,
guess, yeah. I mean, I guess technically, because I do agree it probably deserves. Sure, I would say that maybe. But I don't know. It's a snub. Like, it's hard to say that when a game that I truly loved won too. You know what I mean? So, sure, I guess I would probably call it a snub though if they didn't win anything else at all. Like, I think Elden Ring should win Game of the Year, or even I don't know, maybe even Game Direction. I don't know. I'm having trouble separating them again.
Sometimes I find when I talk about this, it becomes like a very weird conversation because like you kind of like justify why
you feel
other games are like why your pick is wrong.
Yeah.
Even though like sometimes I'm voting, it's really like a gut reaction.
Absolutely.
When we're sitting here and we're kind of talking
that's the
about
nature
it and you
of
like talk yourself out of like something
out of what you're at. Yeah. I don't know. It's that does seem to be the nature of awards in general
and
too
that's
to me.
kind of why I like talking about the Game Awards.
Sure.
We, for the most part, we have an opinion and have played a majority of these titles, and it's always an interesting conversation to see like why people picked X game and why X game is going to win the award. You know?
I mean, I've said it 1,000 times, but you know me, I hate award shows.
Yeah,
this is the only one
I like award
that
shows.
I enjoy because I do feel like they actually do represent what most of the general public is playing. Whereas, like, you get to the Oscars and most people aren't watching those Oscar movies without being told that they're Oscar movies. I feel.
Yeah, for sure.
So,
like, a game doesn't come out and go, it's a game of the year. Well,
it's a game of the year game, but they do, but not in the same way of like you're playing that already. It's not you're not like hearing
you're playing
about
God
it.
of War.
Yes,
right.
Yeah,
you know it's going to be good.
You know it's happening.
You don't need like a trailer or like an accolades thing to tell you game of the year nominee. You already played it.
Absolutely.
So let's get into a little bit open forum predictions.
Well, did you want to say what we omitted, or did you want to do that like fully last?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Perfect trio. This is why you're here.
I try.
All right. Scrolling up. God, I wish I had a mouse, man. So much easier. Okay, so the awards we omitted: innovation and accessibility, games for impact, best VR, AR, content creator, which I wanna talk about. That's the only one that somebody wrote in about. Best sim/strategy, sports and racing, esports game, athlete and team, and coach and event were all the awards we eliminated. So, that being said, comments on awards we omitted. Penza writes, I think the content creator of the year award needs more subcategories. Should have a streamer of the year, personality of the year, journalist of the year, etc.
Yeah, that whole Nebin thing. Why was
Nibel? Right. I wanted to bring it up because Nibel being nominated for content creator of the year when he's not a content creator is very strange.
Yeah, it's just not a.
I know nobody else on this list besides him.
That's what I mean.
And I think that's interesting. I think this is a popularity contest.
No, absolutely. Like he's probably a nice guy, but he was reposting things that people already posted. I wouldn't even call that like journalism,
and he quit.
Really. Yeah. Because he tried to start a Patreon
and it failed.
And but what was he offering? Like it was
exactly.
It was such a weird thing. Listen, I feel bad for the guy. I feel like, but like he needed to cultivate that Twitter audience into something else.
So if he wins, it's just gonna be like weird.
And like, do you think he would have been if he didn't go away?
He's an anonymous person. Like,
Yeah.
is he gonna like show up and be like, "Hey, I know I'm like done, but thanks."
Yeah, it's weird.
And everyone's just gonna be like, again, I don't know any of those other content creators on there, but like, okay, like it's something. I mean, this whole thing is a popularity contest, but obviously, like, the fans of the people
We'll just
who are
vote.
nominated are gonna vote. But
Absolutely.
again, those votes are 10% of the vote. And what Penza was talking about, should we have more categories? Streamer, personality, journalist? I don't know. I think it adds more fluff.
I was about to say, I feel like that you're just causing even more issues. I feel like that
Especially
category in
with what you're
general
saying.
is just, most people don't care. And gaming journalism, for better or for worse, sucks anymore. For the most part, I really don't like it. I don't feel like it's very connected to
media, big games media is a really weird place right now.
But yeah, I don't know. You can get rid of that, in my opinion. You can just get rid of that whole category. I don't really care.
So what do we think will be announced? Let's talk about it. I'll start with, we'll give our opinions, but I want to start with a write-in. Bugword writes, it better be Metroid Prime Trilogy or Metroid Prime 4. Trio, do you think we'll see Nintendo at the Game Awards announcing something?
I really couldn't give you a yes or no answer. I have no idea. What do you think? I'd assume not, because I feel like they seem to like their directs a lot.
They seem to, yeah. They're
know.
on their own. Like, I think Metroid Prime 4 was announced at the Game Awards, if I recall correctly, and that I think we talked about this on a podcast. That game got totally scrapped and is being redeveloped. So maybe there's a chance it could show, but like I don't know. Trio, what do you think is going to show up? What do you think?
I really don't know. I'm in my heart of hearts, I would love to see a Spider-Man, but they're saving that for probably a PlayStation thing.
I would agree.
We've seen Starfield gameplay. I don't know, Gooch. I really can't think of much. What do you think they'll
I think
show
we're
us?
going to see Hellblade, a Senua's Sacrifice.
Oh, that makes sense.
Oh, is it Sacrifice or Saga? Which one are we on?
Senua's, I don't
Saga?
know. I have no idea. I don't
Sacrifice?
know. I want to say it's Sacrifice.
The second Hellblade game.
Yeah.
I think we saw it debuted here. I think we're going to see it again. We're going to see more gameplay, and we're going to get a date. Mm-hmm. This game has been in limbo since it's been announced, and it was supposed to be like a launch title.
Yeah. That would make sense. No, that would make sense. I'm
Yeah.
trying, but even what else would there even be? Like, I'm scared, I guess we'll get to what our other suggestions
Well,
are. Yeah.
Chris Connor writes, the Mario movie trailer. I think that is a possibility. I think I've talked about this on Discord. You can join in the description if you're not already.
Yeah.
This is a perfect place to announce that.
But they already did.
Sorry, not announce it.
Like give a full-on trailer.
Give us the full trailer, because we're the gamers. And this is the Game Awards, and
But they're Nintendo. And I feel like they'll be like, but no, watch our direct for our full Mario trailer. They might. No, I think that would make sense. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's just like it's the audience. Like, they're there. The people who will be going, their butts will be in seats, are actually in that audience and watching at home. So I think it makes sense for them to do it here. But, then it'll just go in theaters and everyone else will watch it. I think that makes sense.
No, I think it could. Could it absolutely show up? Yeah, I just think Nintendo's so weird with that stuff that they'd be like, no, watch our direct.
Yeah, and I think when you're saying, like, I don't know, I don't think that's like a cop-out answer.
I just truly...
Look at what got announced last year. Star Wars Eclipse? Where did that come from? You
just reminded me. Star Wars Jedi Fallen Survivor or whatever. I think that could be there.
I think it's a good bet.
Because I think that's definitely supposed to come out next year.
Was there a rumor?
I don't know. There might have been. But I think that would be a big one. That would make sense to me.
My other guess, we're going to see Hideo Kojima's next game.
That would make, yeah.
He's been talking about it.
Jeff's lover boy.
It's the Game Awards. Kojima's going to be there with a game.
How long has it been since Death Stranding came out? Was that 2020?
2019.
All right, so 3 years.
Yeah, and he's been teasing some sort of project with Elle Fanning.
Yeah, like that Who Am I or whatever stuff.
And the girl, so the other girl, I don't know, I probably posted it when he was revealed her. She is that girl who's like with, her name's Kimiko from Deadpool 2.
Oh, wow.
It's that actress.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Hey, Wade.
Kimiko. Oh, yeah. Hey, Wade. That's
hey,
funny.
Kimiko.
Hey, Kimiko.
Negasonic Teenage Warheads.
Yeah, like friend or whatever, yeah.
Like lover
or yeah, I guess girlfriend, whatever.
She's there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's her. And last write-in for this, Jess Sharnagle writes, I'm really not sure. even as a game journalist, no one will even confirm for me that they're going. I know that Finji, the Tunic dev, is going, and they're asking for interviews. So they might reveal Tunic 2 or some other game. What I'm hoping for is a new Lara Croft game, a new Fable trailer, more Disney Dreamlight Valley content, and another trailer for FF7 Remake Part 2. So
when was Fable announced? That's right. I keep forgetting that's happening.
2020?
I keep
or
forgetting
whenever
that's
press
happening.
conferences was in, because E3's been weird. New Lara Croft game. No fucking way. You're not going to see that just yet, I don't think. I don't think Crystal Dynamics is ready to show that. Yeah, I don't think so. Fable.
It was announced back in 2020.
Like we said, it's been a while.
They just picked up a bunch of devs from where was it? Fuck. It sounded
Xbox?
promising. I think or somewhere because that is it's being developed by an Xbox studio, right? Playground Games. That's them. They're owned by.
Yes.
Yeah, it's gonna be an exclusive. All that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember who it was. Like another third person action game, but I'm hopeful for Fable 4. Xbox, we've talked about 1,000 times.
They have a full hand, baby.
But show it to us.
They haven't played it. But you know what's funny? You know who has an empty hand right now? Sony.
As far as we know.
Spider-Man and Wolverine are, I think, 2 projects that we know about, but are just not really close. I don't think we're going to see Spider-Man
They
next
need
year.
to talk. Now that God of War is out, they need to talk more. We need more. We do, it's
all those games that were on the dock for a few years.
Why do I have a PS5 under my TV?
Because think about it. There aren't really many PlayStation 5 exclusives.
Not many next gen exclusives
God of War
at all.
isn't.
God of War isn't. And it's funny, you can
Horizon
play that
isn't.
game. Yeah.
You know?
No.
Ratchet and Clank is.
Yeah. No, and then you got
But there are
Demon Souls, right? Isn't that totally next?
there are a few games that
But
just
and I will say
aren't
that's a problem
exclusive.
for Xbox too. Absolutely.
I'm excited to talk
Like,
about
that's
God of
1,000.
War because I can see the PS4 remnants in it.
Well, and there were people talking that was supposed to come out much with the PlayStation 5.
I think it was too.
But and you know my opinion on that.
I think it was supposed to. Well, it was. Yeah, maybe you're right.
Or
Sorry,
close to the end. But you know my opinion on that. I feel like that game should have just been a next gen game from the beginning.
I think this year I'm gonna really start cracking hard on that, and I think we should just.
I've been doing it for the past. Yeah, I feel like I've been
now.
bitching
I think
about
there's literally no excuse if your game is coming out on PS4.
Well, it's money. Yeah.
Like, what are you fucking doing? Like, we're 2 years into this console cycle. Like, I think we need to move the fuck on.
Even the fact that Hogwarts Legacy is cross gen is ugh. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing?
God. Disney Dreamlight Valley. I know we have nothing to say about that, but I don't think this is a place for that kind of game to be like. The Game Awards is not a show to show shit off. It's there for like the headline. It's there for
big guys.
The big right.
Yeah, the big ones.
So that being said, Final Fantasy VII Remake. What is it? Reunion. I think is the second title.
Oh, I didn't. Sorry.
No, it's okay.
I didn't realize Playground was who did Forza.
Oh.
And apparently they're using the Forza engine for it. Interesting.
But anyway, I don't know. Square is kind of
cagey right now, yeah.
Not cagey. They're just on their fucking own. With
you know
shit
what
like
could
that.
really blow people away, but I don't think it would happen until next year. Dun, 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 dun. Little Bond. If IO showed off their Bond game in any way, I would lose
That's
it.
a good guess.
Like, I don't know.
That's a game nobody's really thinking about right now. We know it exists, but if it just came out of the blue, holy shit.
I think it was announced back in 2019. I don't think it would come out now. I would love to see some type of teaser, but I don't know.
Yeah. I think...
I'm sorry. I know I did sing the Bond theme like too correctly. That might get copyright struck as well. So watch out.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, besides those, I mean, I gave some good guesses, but Game Awards is always weird. Like, it's always like maybe Joseph Ferris's game will get a reveal. Like, he's a Jeff Keighley bud.
Also, the Hauser brother has been working on a game for a bit now too, I think, but I don't know when that's going to come.
When he asked for what do you guys want to see get announced? You know what I said? Lucas Pope's next game. He did Papers, Please.
Oh,
Return
gotcha.
to Oberdin. I'm like, I want to see what he's.
Is that
working
Oberdin game only on PC?
No, it's on
Xbox. I want to
Xbox.
check it out because I remember you mentioning it a while
so
back.
good.
Yeah.
So good. I love his games. And that Pentiment kind of like, even though it's not really an indie game, it kind of
It has that feel
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah.
Absolutely.
All right, I got one more write-in, and it's about some games that we have some holes on coming in from Fred. So I just asked, like, hey, there's, Xenoblade, Bayonetta, games we haven't played that I kind of want to hear what other people have to say.
Sure.
And Fred has played Xenoblade Chronicles 3, Bayonetta 3, and Splatoon 3. So he's going to give all his thoughts here. Fred writes, Xenoblade Chronicles 3 is a wonderful entry into the Xeno series, coming from the groundbreaking Xenoblade Chronicles 1. It is a culmination of everything that has been laid out in the other two entries in the series. Sorry, I'm getting lost here.
No, you're good.
It's
a bit more.
Yeah. Everything has been laid out with the other two entries into the series, bringing along some of the greatest parts of each game, great characters you can actually connect with, a story with interesting turns and statements to make, as well as a great game, great game mechanics, which really have solidified the single-player MMO style established in Xenoblade Chronicles 1. Solid 8 out of 10 from Fred. Bayonetta 3, much like Xenoblade Chronicles 3, is a wonderful game in the series that really puts Bayonetta over the top as one of the greatest character action games of all time. Hideki Kamiya once again hit a home run with this series. The game pulls from cultural references in visual and gameplay design. Also, in the story itself, with a very Avengers-esque plot. It's fun, rewarding, and with Kamiya's new game quickly approaching, I think is a great time for new fans to jump in and try the series. Another 8 to 8.5 out of 10 from Fred.
Love it.
Splatoon 3 was an iffy game for me at first, and it's taken very it is taken very serious with its hardcore fans. I do know that. And when trying to get into ranked mode, there is a large emphasis on meta and min-maxing gear builds to hit peak of the ranks. When paired with its gyro aiming, you're exposed to one of the most intense online shooter experiences where you can contribute to your team and really make the difference. It's not for everyone, and despite it being marked towards kids, I would say this game is not for kids. It's not kid-friendly when hitting online matches, especially ranked. But when taken seriously with a splash of sweat, you can really experience one of the better multiplayer experiences out there. 7 out of 10. Awesome. Fred, thanks for the write-in.
Absolutely.
Very detailed.
We love it.
Yeah, I was kind of hearing that Xenoblade Chronicles 3 is a really good title, and people were expecting it to be snubbed. But the fact that it's up for Game of the Year, I think like Jeff even tweeted at the person. He's like, I guarantee Xenoblade Chronicles 3 won't be up for Game of the Year, and he's like, interesting.
There you go. That's funny.
It's good to have like some representation from those titles. Xenoblade Chronicles 3, it's a niche JRPG.
Sure.
Like we talked about with the RPGs, like it's only a certain sect of people are playing those games.
That makes sense.
And I don't think that's a bad thing. I think that's kind of a good thing because like I really like those genres, and that's not really a series I'm very familiar with.
Me neither.
We talked about Bayonetta 3 a little bit before, and then Splatoon 3. Like, just to echo Fred, I know for a fact it has like a hardcore selection of people. I've known that since the first one. So to hear what he had to say there, not surprising.
Makes sense.
But Trio, you have anything else to say? Anything to predict? Any wild fucking prediction you want to make about the Game Awards?
I'm feeling good about the Bond one, but that's really it. I'm not feeling good. I don't think it'll happen, but I'm hopeful. We'll see what happens. And maybe a Spider-Man.
I'm curious what Kojima's game is going to be. Is it going to be this Overdose game, or is it going to be like Death Stranding 2?
What was the Overdose one again? Wasn't that like a horror focus one?
Margaret Qualley is apparently in it.
Oh, okay.
So she's back. She played Mama in Death Stranding.
That's right. I remember this now.
Because there's a leaked video of some dude with his shirt off recording a screen of gameplay of it. And I'm like, okay.
There we go.
Like, that's an interesting way. I didn't know it was like 2002.
Yeah, taking screenshots of the screen.
Yeah, and it's like you can barely see anything.
Yeah, you have no idea what's going on. That's funny.
Yeah, and then it's really up in the air what he's doing. I don't think Death Stranding 2 is a shoo-in. I've never really have. But it'll be interesting to see what he comes
I wouldn't
out
be surprised
with.
if that's something he waits a while to come back to. Like maybe he does 2 or 3 more games.
I think that's a good idea if he wanted to. Wait 7, 8,
do 2 more
years.
games and then come back to it. Maybe
Norman Reedus will come
He'll
back.
be back, yeah.
He's doing the Walking Dead spinoff, but
now that he is in the He'll
Yeah, he got his own
He'll
spin-off.
never lose that fucking paycheck.
No,
Yeah, dude.
no.
That is his.
I'm
that's
curious
fine.
what Norman Reedus' career looks like after The Walking Dead. You know,
He's probably made his fair. He probably doesn't even care, to be honest. He's probably made his good chunk of change off that.
He's been in a few indie films.
I mean, he was in what's
and
it
he's
called?
in Death
right?
Stranding.
And he was also in Reservoir Dogs, I think, or the other Tarantino.
No,
or
Boondock Saints.
That's right. Yeah, I was like,
Yeah,
which one?
That was his like first
One of his
claim
first
to fame.
roles. Yeah. Yeah, Gooch. I think that wraps us. Everyone, if you've been watching with us live on twitch.tv/Delco Nerd Network, we very much appreciate your time. You can find this podcast anywhere podcasts are found. Just search Delco Nerd Network on your favorite service. We are on all the social medias as well at Delco Nerds on basically everything. We have a Facebook page. We have a Discord channel that all should be linked down below. You can find all this information on our website, DelcoNerdNetwork.com. You can even email us, DelcoNerds@gmail.com, with all your comments, questions, or concerns. We'd be happy to get back to you. But for Gooch, I've been Trio. Thanks for watching, guys. Stay nerdy, and we will see you next time.